What's up, everyone? It's Saturday night. It's the Late Night Agenda. My name is Craig and you are all very welcome along to tonight's stream. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope wherever in the world you are, things are going well for you. The sun's shining, birds singing and everything else that's good in life. Look, as always, these streams end up with talking about one thing and one thing only, and that is pretty much transfers. What's going to happen? I don't know. I've got some bits and pieces, some media news. I'm sure you guys have some as well. We'll go through it all together, see if we can form a consensus on what's real and what's bullshit. As always, there will be language on the stream. I feel like I have to start saying that again because there were some people over the past couple of days that may be a little bit taken aback by it. So if you're watching this with some kids or maybe swearing just isn't for you, please bear in mind that at times there will be bad language used on this stream. So I've done my best to warn everybody. Now we just go back, sit back, have some fun and kick off for Saturday night. Right, guys, how are we? Loads of people just saying hello. Did you see Robbo's goal? No, mate, I haven't. I've had such a busy day. We were down in Connor's recording 3 segments for, to put up on YouTube. And I'm only after getting back about an hour ago. Grabbed the shower and came on here, get ready to go. So I've missed so much today. Apparently it was a screamer though. Yeah, a couple of people I've seen on WhatsApp. A few people have said to me it was an absolute screamer of a goal. Ella said it was a screamer as well. To be fair, he had that in him, didn't he? You could see that coming. I actually think I said on a show recently enough, well, I say recently enough, in the past month or so, that I fancy Robbo to score one soon because he just seemed in the mood and we know he has a wand of a left foot and he can strike the ball. So delighted for him, absolutely delighted for Andy Robertson. Pat Moylan is in as well. Hello to everybody, by the way. There's so many people in. I won my match today, 13-1. Well, that's certainly a win, Anthony, isn't it? My goodness, mate. 13-1. Nice one. MC Cambiasso is back. I'll take it, Blaine. Do you know what? I've been called worse, mate. Cambiasso isn't the worst of them. Loads of Scottish fans happy, and I'm happy for you. I love seeing people happy. Nothing makes me happier than coming on here and seeing Reds around the world happy. Right, look, you want to talk about Pepe, don't you worry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get straight to Nicolas Pepe. I'm just going to wait a minute or two for the chat to fill up because I was late scheduling the stream tonight. So maybe some people are only getting notifications now and I don't want to, have to go through it all again in a couple of minutes. So bear with me, we'll say our hellos. We'll see if we've got a few other little bits and pieces that can get us through the next few minutes. I hope you had a good day. Robbo scoring a screamer because he's European royalty, said Antico. He is European royalty, mate. So I can't argue with facts. Am I getting excited over Pepe? 2 minutes, mate. 2 minutes. I promise you we'll get to Nicolas Pepe. Willow said Scotland won 2-1. Nice one. Can't believe Justin Edinburgh has passed away. He was in Madrid cheering on Spurs. Yes, it is very sad news that Justin Edinburgh has passed away today. It's another loss for the game, unfortunately. And of course, we passed on our condolences to everybody associated with Spurs. I think with a Portsmouth player at one point as well. But yeah, look, may he rest in peace. It's, I think, 49 years of age, something like that. Far too young. So far too young. And yeah, absolutely rest in peace. Craig, to see we've agreed a deal for Pepe. We'll get to it. God, I want to talk about it so much, but we will get to it in 2 seconds. Relax. Craig is the real Pepe. There you go. Red Hulk's nailed it. You don't need any of these £70 million frauds. Far Isle's in as well. Brian Morrissey is in. How are you? Brian was with me in Connor all afternoon filming stuff. So again, busy day for the Anfield Agenda boys. I hope you guys got a chance to check out the podcast that went up this afternoon. If you haven't, it's about an hour and 5 minutes long. So maybe, if you're driving or maybe you just want to kill some time later on, please give it a listen. I can confirm, by the way, that it is available on Podbean, it is available on Acast, it is available on Spotify, and probably a few more. I'm still working on iTunes, so bear with me on that one. But of course, it's available on YouTube as well. Myself, Cash, Chris, and Dave, looking back over the season, looking ahead to the transfer window, talking about the owners a little bit as well. I cannot tell you how much I enjoyed catching up with Cash and the two guys. It was a pleasure. So look, do check that out. It's probably on a few more podcast apps as well. I just haven't had the chance to check what it's gone up on these days because we had such a gap and then we came back. So yeah, it's available on most podcast apps, but check it out for yourself anyway. I hope you enjoy it because it was really fun to record, and it's going to be the first of a few. I think we're going to try and do them every few weeks with Cash and the guys. Justin the Wood said, I love podcasts. Thank you, mate. As you guys know, podcasting was my background. It's where I started making content, and to be able to get back and chat with the guys was brilliant. And the video of it is up. I'm the only one on video in it. The other three just came in via audio, so check it out. It's up there. I think Connor put it up about 2 o'clock today. Right, let's get straight into the dirty stuff, as we like to say, the Nicolas Pepe stuff. Now, I'm going to tell you guys what I've seen, And then, of course, I would absolutely love for you guys to tell me what you've seen, because, as I said, I've been out and about all day today, so there's every chance that I missed some stuff. So, where are we? This is what I've seen. Liverpool are claimed to be well placed in talks to sign Lille winger Nicolas Pepe, though they face competition from Bayern Munich amongst other clubs. According to RMC Sports' Mohamed Boufassi, the Reds are well placed to sign the right winger, though negotiations are not at an advanced stage. Liverpool and Bayern Munich negotiate with Lille, and the player is a quote. Now, I've also read something else that was sent to me just before I came on that said that this journalist, I believe, said it was getting closer or something along those lines on social media, which is why I want to come to you guys for a bit of assistance on this one. What have you guys seen? When I was reading the comments before I started tonight, a lot of people were saying it's getting close. This is where I bow down to your knowledge, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you've seen on this one, and then we can maybe come to a conclusion on whether there's anything to this or not. What I also had read was that Bayern Munich... He's not Bayern Munich's first choice. Bayern Munich have other players that they're looking at, and Bayern Munich apparently, again, take this with a pinch of salt, have some doubts over his ability to push it and make it right at the top level. I don't know if that's true or not. Again, take it with a massive pinch of salt. Pepe gonna pick us if it's down to that decision, said Sean. I would imagine so. I would absolutely imagine so. Out of all Liverpool's transfer targets, Craig, who would you like to see sign the most? I suppose, who do I know who the transfer targets are? But I get what you mean, buddy. You're just asking from the names listed. Obviously, I'd like to sign Ligt. I know it's not looking likely, but I mean, I keep talking about the kid. He's going to be a superstar. Other than that, it's not going to happen probably, but I keep coming back to Fekir because I think he'd do amazing in this system. Werner, Fekir, I have to say, as I've said all along, I haven't seen much of Nicolas Pepe. But they seem to be probably the 3 or 4 most likely targets. Now, this journalist, I believe, the one I spoke about, the guy, Mohamed Boufassi, I think he's the guy that broke the story for Fabinho to Liverpool, if memory serves me correct. But again, I could be wrong on that one. This time last week, we were all on our way to lift the 6th Champions League trophy. Yeah, how long ago? It doesn't feel like a week. It's mad. That feels like a lifetime ago, in a good way. I mean, so much has happened over the past week. The person who broke the Fabinho story last year said we're close, which is what I just touched on there. What else we got? I saw he was going to snub Liverpool for Bayern. Not sure though, said Big Man Steve. Yeah, I mean, that would... Look, being blunt about this, that would seem a completely bullshit decision. Liverpool at this moment in time are a far better placed club than Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich are a great club. Great club steeped in history. They'll always do very well in Europe. They'll always be right there fighting on winning the Bundesliga. And I don't mean to be disparaging towards my comments with Bayern Munich because they're an excellent club. But we're right at the top now, ladies and gentlemen. We're European champions. And back-to-back finalists as well. And putting in massive point totals in the league and attracting players from all over the world. For me, if I'm a footballer and I have a decision between Bayern Munich and Liverpool, and it is a flat-out decision, it's ridiculous to think that he wouldn't choose Liverpool, in my humble opinion. And yeah, I'm going to be that blunt about things now, because that's how much I believe we are a destination club at this moment in time. And players who have any doubts about it, quite frankly, can fuck off. If you don't want to come and play for this club, you don't want to play for that manager, you don't want to play for these fans, then I don't want you anywhere near our club, because I want people like Bobby Firmino, like Mohamed Salah, like Sadio Mane, Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Virgil van Dijk, Jordan Henderson, who will go out there and run themselves ragged into the ground for that red shirt. They're the players we need at this football club, players who will run through brick walls for Jurgen Klopp. And I don't give a shite what the transfer fee is. If you're not willing to do that, if you don't back yourself to come here and shine, then go somewhere else. Go take money and piss off somewhere else. We want players here that are going to improve our squad. And it's going to take the very elite level players to come in and do that. Is Nicolas Pepe one of these guys? From what I've read, from what I believe, from what you guys have told me, he very well could be. So again, let me know your thoughts on this. But I don't want any of these nonsense stories saying it's between us. It shouldn't be between us and anybody. It shouldn't. Liverpool literally should be right at the top of the pile now, and players should be crawling over broken glass to come and play for this football club. That's where we are at the moment. In my humble opinion. Sorry, I got a bit worked up about that, didn't I? But it means that much to me as a fan to see the progression of this team and where we are. These stupid conversations around it should be between blank and blank and blank. It shouldn't. It should be, if Liverpool are in for me, then that's the only club I'm going to go to, because there isn't a better destination for me at this moment in time. Same with Werner. He's going to choose between Bayern and Liverpool. I'll get on to that in a few minutes, mate. And we should be able to blow Bayern Munich out of the water, by the way. And I'm not talking about with regards to wages, because Bayern are a club in a very stable financial position. And they signed that new improved deal for 1.2 billion or something with their motor manufacturer partner or their car transportation partner or whatever it was. So Bayern aren't short of a bob or two. And they've always been a very well run club. But Liverpool are a bigger and better club at this moment in time. I mean, Bayern have this many Champions Leagues. And we have this many Champions League, which is a bigger number than this one. I know, I'm being a bit petty there, but bear with me. Liverpool have put a 70 million plus 3 million bonus bid in, said Prez Mane. I think you were talking about Timo Werner, but we'll get back to him in a second. Champions of Europe, yeah we are. Champions of Europe. Someone needs to show Pepe the Bayern versus Liverpool game if he's undecided, said Stephen Richards. Exactly. And then show him the Barcelona game. And then show him the Champions League final. And then show him the fucking parade as well, mate. Because this club is hot right now. Maybe not broken glass, but I get the point. I don't know, Blue, I'd crawl over broken glass to go and play for Liverpool if I was a footballer. I'd imagine I'd have the best of medical treatment when I finish crawling over said broken glass. Robbo's goal for Scotland was class, said Andy Robertson. What else we got? We destroyed Bayern at the Allianz, Craig. Bayern weren't great at all that night. No, and when they came to Anfield, mate, for the first leg, they basically played for a draw. They came and sat back and showed Liverpool a lot of respect. Probably believing that they could get the job done in the Allianz, and that didn't work out too well for them, did it? We destroyed Bayern at the Allianz, Craig. I've done that one. Let's talk about 6. I mean, I could talk about 6 I'm blue in the face. I want to give a shout out, by the way, to Kev's LFC artwork there in the chat. Kev makes some amazing artwork around LFC. He sent me a lovely picture of Jan Molby. I have an image he just sent to Jan Molby, and Jan Molby holding it up in the picture. It's beautiful. So do give Kev a follow if you're on Facebook. Kev, so let me make you a mod, mate, because I want you to be able to... I want you to be able to put links into your stuff and that on Facebook, mate, because I really believe in what you do and I love your artwork, buddy. So everybody, Kev, feel free, mate, put links into your Instagram account, your Facebook account, your Twitter account, because I want as many people to know about your great work, buddy. You've been very nice. We've got to know each other a little bit over the past few months, and I wish you nothing but the best, buddy. How is it a week since number 6 came home, said Douglas James Horn. It doesn't seem a week, does it, mate? It's absolutely flown by. Absolutely flown by that week. Werner isn't coming. Haven't saw a rumour about him in 2 months. I've been doing some digging on that, Press Man. I'll get to it, mate. I've been doing some digging on it. Don't you worry, buddy. You know, like you, I'm a transfer hound. Liverpool went to the Allianz. Liverpool scored 3. Yeah, we did, Mossy. Yeah, we did. I'm delighted that we're all expected to strengthen again. It's so encouraging, said Sean W. You've got to, mate. You've got to. You cannot stand still in this game. You will just... You'll be caught up on, because you go into this transfer window. City, they're going to strengthen. United, they're going to strengthen. Chelsea, depending on maybe a ban, I don't know what's going to happen there. Wolves going to strengthen. Leicester going to strengthen. All the top teams are going to strengthen. Spurs, we're going to have money this summer as well. Arsenal, I think their budget has been decreased a little bit by not getting to the Champions League, but they're still going to strengthen. We cannot stand still. We've got to push on as well. Not to be mean with Bayern, but winning it every year is a bit of a bore. Would think it would be more dynamic, challenging prospect to choose Liverpool as well as Klopp's team's trophy cabinet. Look, when it comes to German players, Farrell, I get people wanting to stay in Germany. You can be in your comfort zone, but we're talking about Nicolas Pepe here, who's currently playing in the French league. There is no reason for... There's no draw to Germany really for him, from what I can see. Nobody can tell me it's a better league, because it isn't. Playing for Bayern Munich, of course, as I said, a very good club, but we are in a better position right now. What can a mod do? Asked Declan. If they can remove trolls, mate, out of the chat, and they can remove people that come in spamming links to bigtitties.com and companies like that. I love that's just an example of using day one, Declan, mate. But yeah, that's what they can do, mate. They can stop people trolling, they can stop people being abusive, remove comments, and if necessary, remove the person from being able to comment full stop. ESC Ireland said Ligt would be brilliant, but would play him right centre back and play Van Dijk left centre back so he could protect Robbo from headers. Again, Mathijs de Ligt, I will move on to in a couple of seconds. I just want to get through Nicolas Pepe, because what I find is we do one section, we go off and do another player, and then we're coming back. So let's just get all the Nicolas Pepe out of our system that we can. Is he coming? Yes or no? You know I like to pose questions to the chat. Thumbs up if you're expecting Nicolas Pepe to come. Thumbs down if you think he's not going to come. And let's see if we can come to a bit of a consensus on this one. After watching Fekir destroy City in the Champions League, I'd rather him over Pepe, said Barry. Look, mate, it's no secret that I love Fekir. I've been saying it for ages. I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. Anything that I've read from people I trust or gone back over archived stuff, they seem to say that deal, when that deal was over, that deal was over. I also don't believe the £15 million price tag or €50 million price tag that's been going around as well on social media, because even with a year left, Nabil Fekir is worth infinitely more than 15 million quid. Dave the Red said, if you include games for Egypt, Mo could play 80 games next season. Well, yes, technically he could, Dave, but nobody is going to play 80 games in a season. And Connor read me out something earlier on. As I said to you guys, we were filming some segments, so we were doing a bit of research for them. And apparently with the Community Shield, with the European Super Cup, with the World Club Cup, and with the Premier League and all the other trophies, there is a chance Liverpool players could have to play around 72 games this coming season, which shows you more than ever why we need rotation. Because let's say we get the front three to play 40 games, which is still a lot of football. You're going to want somebody else to come in for the other 25 to 32 other possible games. Which is why we need strength and depth, which is why we can't just be relying on Origi and Ryan Brewster, because it's too much pressure on young Ryan Brewster's shoulders, which is why we're talking about maybe bringing in the likes of Werner, the likes of Pepe, and maybe other forwards that we haven't thought about yet. And there is another forward, by the way, that has only been mentioned over the past couple of days that I found some information on tonight. Mark, you haven't missed too much, buddy. We're not going too long. If we get the Ligt and Pepe, said Maximilian. Sorry, just got here, catch me up. We're not on too long, mate, so there's not much to be caught up on, to be fair. I think there is possibility that we might let Pepe go to Bayern if Liverpool get a free path to Werner. We won't get a free path to Werner, Neil. I'll move on to Timo Werner in a couple of minutes. Werner knows he would not make a good bench warmer. Again, we can't look at it as just having a starting 11. That's just a silly thing to talk about. At this moment in time, let's just say all our players should be, like, our starting 11-ish type players should probably be looking to play 60% of our games next season. You're going to need probably 40%. You're going to need players to come in, even if you're just rotating one or two. So we can't just look at it from a starting 11 perspective. To win things, to go and challenge for all these trophies, we're going to need a very strong squad. Look at the ability that Manchester City have coming off their bench. Leroy Sané. They've Leroy Sané there. Then obviously they've fucking, what's his name? The guy they signed from Mahrez, Riyad Mahrez. Even young Zinchenko coming in's done a job there when he's had to cover. And they've got other young Foden, looks like he's doing well for them as well. Mendy coming back for fitness for them. Gabriel Jesus to come off the bench when they want to give Aguero a rest. There is options there. We need that strength of options. We need that strength and depth if we want to compete across, what have we got, 4 major competitions, and then obviously the 3 other trophies that we've got to play for. Craig Crosby said in 2001 we played 63 games, which is a lot of games. The World Club Cup will ruin our chances to win the Premier League. Right, I want to debunk this. Again, something we spoke about on the podcast. So Brian did some research on this, and it turns out that just actually isn't true statistically. That the Premier League clubs that have gone and played in the World Club Cup have seen no noticeable decrease in their league performance before or after, and in fact 4 out of 5 of them that have played and have gone on to win the Premier League. So that is simply not true. And also with regard to the World Club Cup, we're probably going to have a warm weather training camp, whether that be in December probably now. We've done it over the past couple of seasons, so this could be that warm weather training camp. Klopp could use this as his chance to get the players out there and have his warm weather training camp. Play the couple of games that are out there if you get through to the final. Obviously, maximum of 2 games in that competition. So it probably won't disrupt their season at all, actually, if we're being honest. City of high quality sat on the bench. We claim to want trophies, and next season there are a ton of them, so I think any new signing won't be languishing on the bench for long, said Far Isle. How many goals did Liverpool score at the Allianz? 3, Alex, mate, 3. We won 3-1. I think at least 16 players should be starters and whoever trains better and informed plays. I agree, Aidan. I think you're absolutely spot on there, mate. We should be looking to have at least 16, maybe even 18 players that we deem first team, first 11 players. What's your opinion on Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain starting in the lineup next season? Gets a good full pre-season under his belt. Ibrahim, no problem with him starting whatsoever because he's good enough. Again, like everybody else, I believe he'll have a part to play in the collective. I don't think he's going to start every game. Different strokes for different folks. Maybe for away from home, we're going to start with maybe a Fabinho and a Henderson in there. Maybe if we're looking to attack at home, we start with a Fabinho, Naby Keita and an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It is good that the manager will have these options there next season. But again, we can't just talk about starting 11s, but he's going to be a great option. It would be cheesy to say he'd be like a new signing, but he will give us more options, particularly when it comes to needing that pace and power. A Viable Ninja said 2 games in the Club World Cup equals warm weather, money, shiny. Yeah, exactly. Warm weather training. I agree with you. It would be just the perfect time to get that out of the way. These days, we need to be thinking of a starting 22, said Hayne. Yeah, 2 players in every position. I get where you're coming from. Stevie Richard said, the more competitions we're in, the better. Of course, yeah, the more chance of trophies we have to win, absolutely the better. Dara asked, when does VAR come into the Premier League? This coming season, buddy, so the season approaching. We could play both weekends of the winter break, said Dave the Red. Yeah, that was, the winter break in theory is staggered, isn't it? So half the teams, I think, play one week and then the other half play the next week, thus giving teams a bit of a break. Super Cup in August, shiny, so many problems. Can't we just rejoice in all these competitions we're in? So many cups, so much more than United. A Viable Ninja, I'm right with you, I agree. Community Shield coming up the first week of August, European Super Cup coming up in the Vodafone Arena, Besiktas Stadium on the, I think it's the 14th of August for that one. Then we've got the Premier League, then we've got the Club World Cup, Champions League, loads of things to play for, lots to look forward to. Anthony Cronin said, do you think we will sign Pepe? I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know. 1 minute I'm thinking one thing, then I read something else, and then I move the other way. The truth is that at this moment in time, none of us have a clue what's going on. Some people are rummaging around, some journalists are trying to put together bits and pieces. The consensus at the moment, as we spoke about earlier on, seems to be that it's between Bayern Munich and Liverpool for Nicolas Pepe. And if that is the choice, then there is no choice to make. Liverpool is the option because Liverpool is in a better position. Frankly, are a better team. And I don't understand why there would be an option there. If he's the player and both, let's say both deals are the same and the club agree both transfers, then the player should come to Liverpool. And if he doesn't want to come to Liverpool, then quite frankly, fuck him, is my answer. I'm sorry for being blunt, but that's what I want at this football club, is players that want to be here and players that, as I said earlier on, will crawl over broken glass for Jurgen Klopp. Would you rather us win the Super Cup or the Community Shield? 100% the Super Cup. I said this earlier on, I couldn't give a damn about the Community Shield. I know a lot of people want to look at it as a way of getting one over at Manchester City, perhaps striking the first blow in the season. I don't care about the Community Shield. I love that it raises money for good causes. Absolutely sound about that. Other than that, I wouldn't take too much from it. It's just probably the last pre-season friendly. If you win the trophy, great. If you don't win it, great. I don't think it'll have much relevance in the campaign myself. I mean, yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys what you think. I mean, we did all disagree on this to some extent when I spoke about it earlier on with Connor and Brian when we were filming, but again, different strokes for different folk, but I would absolutely prefer the Super Cup. I want the World Club Cup though, because Liverpool haven't won the World Club Cup, so I want that. That's a trophy we haven't got in the trophy cabinet. Please get out there. The Moroccan fullback travelled to Liverpool. He's on loan from Real. Elizabeth, somebody mentioned this to me earlier on, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name. But it was mentioned to me by somebody about this Moroccan fullback. Robbie said, I don't want Werner, who's awful in the World Cup. Mate, the entire Germany team are dog shit in the World Cup. Timo Werner, at 23 years of age, already an established international, banging goals in the Bundesliga. Not as great a season this season, I will admit to that one, but lots of potential there. And imagine him working on the Jurgen Klopp. I wouldn't judge him by the World Cup, because Germany were, as I said, just horrible in the World Cup in general. Nicolas Pepe be a great signing, said LFC 1892. Why not both? I mean, yeah, why not both? It won't happen, but why not both? Financially, I'd say we could afford both. I mean, Werner will be the cheaper of the two options without a shadow of a doubt, because he's only got 1 year left on his deal. And actually, I might as well talk about Werner because you guys have asked, so let me get the notes open. And I've one more player that we haven't spoken about yet that has popped up. So Bayern Munich are prepared to wait until next summer for Liverpool linked striker Timo Werner, and are willing to wait to snap him up on a free transfer. This could leave the way clear for the Reds to try and steal a march on Bayern Munich to get the player, although Bayern are rumoured to be Timo Werner's preferred destination. It isn't unusual for German players to want to stay and play in Germany, and to see Bayern Munich as the kind of be all and end all. Now, as I said, with Nicolas Pepe, I don't buy that because he's not German. Timo Werner is German. To him, Bayern Munich could be the pinnacle. It would also put him in a great place for the national team because, let's be fair, they're a little bit biased like that. They do prefer their players playing in Germany. That worries me, if I'm being honest about this. I don't think Leipzig are going to be stupid enough to let it drag out and let him go on a free next year. That would just be absolute stupidity from them. They're going to want to move him on this summer, and it might be a case of Bayern Munich just waiting to see what Liverpool do. And I can't remember when the German transfer window closes, but does it close after the English one? Now, ours closes before the Premier League starts. So what I'm wondering here is, if Liverpool don't go for Werner, does that then give Bayern Munich a couple of weeks to try and get a deal through, knowing that their arch rivals or the biggest rivals for this signing have left the way clear for them, and they also know that then next season he could leave on a free potentially, so they could put pressure on Leipzig. Again, interesting to see what happens there. What do you make of the away kit? I'm not a big fan. I want to see it in person first, Sean. I've ordered it for my son, so when it comes I'll probably be able to give you a better opinion. But first impressions, it looks okay. Nothing special. I think the shorts tie it together well, but yeah, it looks okay. And Keane asked the same thing actually. But then again, look, that's just my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think of the away kit. Stevie Richards said, Craig, I'm looking forward to next season more than birthday and Christmas. Yeah, I cannot wait either, mate. I hate the summers. I hate the fact that there's no club football on. I want it to come around quickly, and we're in June now, and we've got to wait till the start of August for the Reds to be really back in action. Yes, we'll have some pre-season games, and of course we'll try our best to cover them on the channel as well. You think they'd want or they'd not want to strengthen a rival? Yeah, I often wonder that for a while about German teams as well. It's like sometimes they just go, oh well, he's gonna go to Bayern Munich, so let's just let him go to Bayern Munich. Fuck that. You gotta try and move the player out of the league. It's in your interest to try and move him on to another league to not strengthen a rival. I 100% agree with where you're coming from. Dave said this time last weekend, oh mate, this time exactly last weekend we were celebrating. Never going to forget that. Never going to forget Liverpool's 6th European Cup. Do you actually think we're in for Pepe? Asked Kyle. It depends what in means. Have we looked at the player? I would imagine absolutely. Are we talking with his representatives and asking Lille about a price? Maybe, yeah. I would say that we've at least gone that far. He's one of the top talents in Europe, and Liverpool will know all about him, and I'm sure that the scouting team will have watched him on many occasions. I can't move past this whole thing about Lyon though, that we spoke about yesterday. That friendly being announced with Lyon. I can't help but believe that there's something to that. Something more than just a friendly. Poochman said he'll probably choose us as his best mates with Nabi. Everything I've read though seems to suggest that he wants to stay in Germany. I don't think I've even remembered to ask Dave about this. Dave Henry, who's based in Germany. Pick 3 players to sign, not Fekir though. Is this who I'd want to sign, Declan, or who I think we'd sign? Because if I could pick 3 players I want to sign, being realistic, I'm not allowed to have Fekir. You've ruined that one for me. I'd love Timo Werner. I've said that all along. I think he'd be perfect. I don't know enough about Nicolas Pepe to put my cards on the table and say, yeah, he's the one that we need. So I would say Ligt, because I keep pointing to the fact that it's just too obvious not to go and try and get him. Even if it's 65 million, I don't care. It's 65 million that will be well spent in the long run. So Ligt, Werner, and we need more creativity and pace. And you haven't let me have Fekir, so these names have been ticked off. Do you know what? I wouldn't mind seeing us going for James Maddison. I wouldn't mind seeing us putting that 60 million on the table that's been rumoured as the amount for James Maddison. And I know people are going to say there's better players out there, but I really do like that guy. I think he's an excellent footballer, and I'm pretty annoyed that we missed out on him last summer. Werner is like Pulisic. It would only happen if Klopp really wanted him. Yeah, exactly. If Klopp wants him, it should be done. Both of them. I think if Klopp had have wanted Christian Pulisic, he would have got that deal done as well. And there's a reason he's at Chelsea, not Liverpool. I think that reason is, as you've said, Stephen, that Liverpool just didn't really push for it. Seems like German teams have to submit to Bayern, said Aiden. Possibly, mate. That, I mean, they certainly have the financial power to bully most teams there in the Bundesliga. But, you know, when you're up against top English clubs, we're not short of a bob or two either. But yeah, you are right. A lot of teams kind of do bow down to Bayern. And a lot of the time, German transfers are done very early in the windows as well. There's club football. You could watch the Electricity League. Yeah, to be fair, mate. I probably won't, if I'm being honest about it. But you are right, it is on. I'm probably about an hour's drive away from my nearest club. I've decided we don't need Werner, said Brian. Brewster will be a superstar. He will, but you know that's a lot of pressure to be putting on him this season, isn't it? To just go into the season after losing Daniel Sturridge, who, look, didn't have a massive impact on this season, but yeah, it'd be a lot of pressure to just have him and Origi there. Would you take Eriksen? Oh God, yes. Oh God, yes. In a heartbeat, Sam. Christian Eriksen is a wonderful footballer. My problem with that would be that I think Daniel Levy would make it near impossible to sell to us. He'd much rather sell abroad because, like we spoke about with Timo Werner, it would make more sense for the selling club to try and push the player out of the league. Now, whether Real Madrid are a genuine option now for Christian Eriksen after them signing Eden Hazard, from a financial perspective, I mean, I don't know. But would I take him at Liverpool? Oh my God, yes. Christian Eriksen is a sensational footballer and he would drop into our team perfectly. So yeah, 100%. And I'd like to know what everybody else thinks. Would you guys take Christian Eriksen? I could be absolutely batshit crazy here, but I'm sure when I was setting up for this stream, I seen a video from Expressions, and the video title was Eriksen to Liverpool, or something along those lines, or Eriksen rumoured to Liverpool, or something along those lines anyway. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but I will watch it later on. So I don't know, maybe I've missed a story today or something. More rumours look quiet. They do. There's been very little around that kid since the last January window. I wonder why Maddison never joined Liverpool. I don't think we put a bid in for him, to be honest, mate. As I said, he picked up an ankle injury at the end of the season last year for Norwich, and that's when things started to go quiet with genuine links that I've seen from Liverpool. And then Leicester went in, got the deal done, and got himself a very good player. We might as well take Coutinho back, said Got Cool. Do we? I don't know if we need Coutinho. That's the thing. I don't know if Coutinho is what we need. And again, it will come down to money. As fans, we probably shouldn't care about money. We should just want to know that the club can afford the players. But if you gave me an option right now of signing Coutinho for 80 million, and that's probably too cheap, but I'm just saying 80 million, or De Ligt for 65, 70 million, I'm picking De Ligt every single day of the week, even though it's probably a luxury to have him as an extra centre-back, or have him there with Joe Gomez, Virgil van Dijk, Joel Matip, Dejan Lovren, Nat Phillips. I'd still rather him than Coutinho because it makes more sense going forward. People keep talking about Ziyech. There has been not a single link I've seen for Liverpool to Ziyech, ever, other than fans talking about him and really wanting to sign him. And look, I agree, he looks quite talented at times, but I've always thought that he wouldn't cut the mustard at Liverpool. I don't know enough about him to know if he'd be able to play in a pressing game, but the bits and pieces I've seen of him, he looks bright, but I mean, there's a reason. There's probably around a 25 million quid figure around him. I know people are saying it's his buyout clause, but even at that, 25 million seems very cheap. Mark Kennedy said, I'd love Eriksen, quality player. Eriksen is over the hill, looks tired. He's only 28, mate. I think there's still a few years left in Christian Eriksen. Now, he could have played a lot of football for Spurs over the past couple of seasons with them not being able to strengthen in the window. And I think Spurs have released Fernando Llorente as well. I think Brian said that to me earlier on. Saeed said, I think there's a Fabinho signing this season, like the signing out of nowhere. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I love those. There's nothing better, is there, than what? This is happening. When now? It's done. James Pearce has tweeted it. And then we're all scrambling around trying to make sure it's the real James Pearce's account. Right, check, that's grand. Now we need to go over and see who Paul Joyce has tweeted it. Brilliant. Then it must be true. Then we go and we just wait. And then the club release something, and then we're all happy as fuck. Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that little sequence of events that usually kicks off. We don't need his wages. Whose wages? Ericsson? I don't know what he's at, but I imagine he's not on a massive amount of wages at Spurs, mate, because Spurs have a wage structure in place. Mark Anthony Vieira said, what's the latest? I'm just signing in. Not much, mate. We're just kind of going through the whole Pepe thing. He's been rumoured to be... It's rumoured to be between Liverpool and Bayern Munich for Nicolas Pepe. 80 million euro seems to be the price point. Some people are saying it's a straight choice, and I said earlier on, if it's a straight choice and he doesn't choose us, then fuck him. He's picked the wrong club. Ziyech only wants to play in a team that plays similar to Ajax. He's quite settled in Holland, and I understand that. I mean, he's doing brilliant at Ajax. And again, he's probably going to become more of a prominent player at Ajax now with the players that they're going to move on. So for him to stay there, Tadic obviously, who's in the latter part of his career, it makes sense for those guys to stay at Ajax and continue their fine form. Maximilian said, if we were to sign Coutinho, I'd need him to publicly apologise for faking a back injury. He's never going to apologise for faking a back injury. There would, of course, be some horseshit PR campaign around it that would try and smooth the way over. So, yeah, you're probably right in that sense, mate. But I don't think he'd ever admit to faking an injury, because why would he? It would be just silly of him to do that. We know it, but he'd never admit to it. How do you change your display name? No idea, mate. Never had to do it before. As I said, when it comes to YouTube, I am an idiot. I just switch on the buttons. Connor has everything set up and I just press go. I'm sure it's pretty straightforward. I'm sure maybe one of our amazing subscribers can give you a hand on that one. Let me just check. Where are we on? There's 363 amazing people watching us, guys, and thank you for a Saturday night. I'm absolutely over the moon with that. If you're enjoying the stream and you haven't subscribed yet, then please do hit that button. We are on our way to 16,700. Just 14 more to go. We've been taking along rather nicely, haven't we? Even though it's the close season, well, to use an American phrase, the close season, we're gaining about 50 subscribers a day, which is brilliant. So it'd be nice, again, to pass another milestone on the stream. So please do hit that button if you're enjoying it, and give a thumbs up to the stream as well. Right, let me get on. Have we spoken about Werner? I think we spoke about Werner. Yes, we did speak about Werner. I did say to you guys that there was a name. There was a name that I hadn't seen you guys mention. Maybe I've missed it, so if you did mention it, I do apologise. But there was one name today when I was doing my little rounds of transfer. And it's one that I suppose makes sense from an age perspective. Well, bear with me. Let me just read this out. So Liverpool are planning to start their summer spending on Fiorentina attacker Federico Chiesa. According to reports in Italy. Juve are considered to be the front runners for Chiesa, who was an ever-present in his side's campaign, playing 37 of 38 matches. The 21-year-old has a contract at Fiorentina until 2022, I should say. So there's no pressure on the Florence side to let him go anytime soon. I feel really bad now that I cannot remember where I pulled that story from. I don't know. I would love to give credit, and I didn't write it down. Usually I write after it, so I do apologise to whoever I've pinched that article from. Federico Chiesa, 21 years of age. I've seen his name. I've seen little bits of him because I do watch a little bit of Serie A from time to time. I've seen his name more on the goal scoring apps when I'm checking things out. But has anybody watched much of this guy? Again, Juventus interested in him, and they seem to be linked to a lot of players again in this window. But 21 years of age, it fits the mould of the type of player we'd usually go for. Stephen Richards, subscribe or fuck off, mate. I love your bluntness. David Newell said, go into your settings on YouTube to change the name. Happy World Gin Day, said Ella. I don't drink gin, Ella, but even if I was to have a short, to be honest, I'd probably have a vodka, mate. But Happy World Gin Day to you as well. Adrian Rabiot version of Naby Keita. Adrian Rabiot's gone quiet, actually. I don't know what's happening with him. We'll have a chat about him though in a few minutes. Hello Craig, my wife said hello, said Sarabia. How are you? And hello to your wife. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're enjoying your Saturday. Is Domestic Butler in here? I'm sure he's on the night out. There you go. I knew you were on an idea. It's a Can't Hear It Rum and Reggae. Just popped in to call Craig a legend and liked the video. This is why I love you, mate. And I hope you yourself and the good lady have a wonderful night tonight. He sent me a screenshot or a picture of the venue he was at for his Rum and Reggae night. And it looks good fun. So I hope you have a great night. Barca reject Coutinho. Don't want him back at Anfield, said Paul Turner. Somebody said Chiesa is a baller. Where's that comment? Oh, there, Big Daddy Joe said Chiesa is a baller. I'm all Wernered out, said Maverick S. I'm getting to that point, mate. I'm not going to lie. As much as I like the guy, I'm getting to the point now where I just want fucking decisions. I swore so much on this stream tonight. I feel like because I warned people at the start, I get away with saying some extra swear words now. First time watching together. Wow. Well, I hope you both have a lovely... I don't know what time it is where you are. I want to say evening, but I don't know what time of the day it is. So, hello to both of you and thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure to know who's watching. Just subscribe, said Michael Hakim. Come on the Reds. Thank you very much, my friend. I hope you enjoy the channel and keep the comments coming, buddy. Rumours are now saying, Craig, that Inter are the third club interested in which... And who are we talking about? Pepe here, buddy? I'm a little bit confused. And good evening to you as well, mate. Timo Werner is joining Bayern. Just forget about it. Lewandowski is 30 plus. They need new blood in their attack for Muller, so it'll be sold to a German club. Okay, fully take on board what you're saying. Super cool, and you may well be right, mate. But look at it from a Leipzig perspective, and this is all I ask, to keep an open mind. I probably agree with you that he's most likely gone to Bayern Munich. But why would you sell him to Bayern Munich if there is an option to sell him abroad? If he's 1 year left, so I suppose the player does hold some power in this negotiation, in that he could say to Leipzig, fair enough, I'll stay here for another year. I'm only 23 years of age and I'll join Bayern Munich for free next year. So yeah, maybe they are going to be pressured into selling him, but at the same time, we have to be in the conversation for the Pepes and the Werners of this world. We should be. We have to be. Chiesa is a talented chap, said Stephen Richards. Scotty, you just said my name, mate. I'm not sure what you want me to do with that one. Is there a comment or a question or anything, buddy? Please do put it in. I wish we could sign Willian. What do you think? Short gap. What is he, 31 years of age? Obviously, Willian's a very good footballer and has an extremely high work rate. And again, his style of football would probably suit what Liverpool do. But do we want to be signing 31-year-old players as stopgaps on a very high wage? Because he would be on a very high wage. I don't know. I mean, if this was back when he signed for Chelsea, 100%, mate, I would have absolutely loved them. But not now. I just think the days of us signing over-the-hill players on high wages should be gone, and we should be looking to, unless maybe it's just for a short-term cover, but I'm trying to think of who we have coming through and would he be blocking the pathway, and nothing about it makes any sense to me personally, other than the fact that we know he's used to the Premier League and he's a decent footballer, but he is 31, I think. Lots of rumours about the Pepe deal being done, said PX31971. Ziyech said, I love to see Klopp use more of his younger players. Excuse me, like Brewster, Woodburn, Keanu Hoover, Jones, and the right back who looks good. I think he's a left back if you're talking about Adam Lewis. And he will use these players and they will get a go in pre-season. The interesting one on that list, obviously we know about Keanu Hoover. Ben Woodburn, to me, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen with that kid. He had a loan at Sheffield United, didn't really work out game time wise. He picked up an injury, came back to the club. He seems to have stalled a little bit, but he's too young to be writing off right now. Who else we got in that list? Keanu Hoover, I think he's probably one season away from starting to really come through. He looks class though, he really does. Jones, very good player. Will he make it at our level? I don't know. That really isn't for me to decide. Possibly a loan. Brewster, look, this is going to be a big season for Ian Brewster. He's going to get his opportunities in the first team, and I'm sure he's chomping at the bit and ready to go, particularly after being part of that Champions League squad. Familiar to Billion said Coutinho was great in Liverpool. We took a chance on him and got his career back on track, and he ditched us. Leave him to warm Barca's bench. I would imagine if he wants a pathway out of Barcelona, it will be PSG. That's my guess, because I think PSG could well lose one of the two big players that they have, and by big I mean that rolling around fool Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, who was a superstar. And look, if I'm PSG and I have to lose one of them, then of course I'm booting Neymar out the door as quickly as possible. They wanted Coutinho when he was at Liverpool, and to be fair to Coutinho, if I remember Melissa Reddy reporting on this one, he turned them down on a couple of occasions and said the only club he would ever leave for was Barcelona, and he stayed true to his word on that one. Probably one of the only things he stayed true to his word on, but I get you. I think there's better value out there, if nothing else. How many transfers do you think we'll make unrelated to who we sign? I think we need 3 minimum. 3 first team ready quality players. Who do you think is the most important position we need to strengthen, or what do I think is the most important position we need to strengthen? And we need another attacker for me, whether that's a wide forward, a centre forward, an attacking midfielder. I don't really care. Just another attacking body, another person with pace and power, and somebody that can easily switch in for the front 3 when we need to rotate. That I know people are going to say Robbo backup is their number 1 priority, but I actually think we need an attacker more at this moment in time than we need a backup for Robertson, although we do need a backup for Robertson. Shay said Son would be amazing for us, or unreal for us, mate. He'd probably be top of any list that I have of semi-realistic signings, because obviously you'd want Kylian Mbappe, but if I can pinch a player right now from a Premier League club, then Son would be right up the top of that list. He's tailor-made for us. Everything about the guy would drop into our system. His work rate is unbelievable. His attitude is unbelievable. He's great. There's just nothing really bad I can say about Son. He's an excellent footballer. We take Pepe, Munich take Werner. Well, to be fair, they probably won't get both, mate, either way, so there could be some ring of truth to what you're saying perhaps there. So happy for Robbo as captain. What a few years he's had since joining us. Long may it continue. I absolutely echo those sentiments, mate. Absolutely. So happy for Andy Robertson. To think he went from, I can't remember where it was, Celtic somewhere, Queen of the South or something like that, was it? Hull, relegation, Liverpool, back-to-back Champions League finals. It's madness, and he's quality. He's one of the best signings we've made. Pound for pound, actually, like actual pound for pound, he's probably the top. How could you argue that for 8.5 million quid or whatever it was? He's sensational. I absolutely adore Andy Robertson. He is everything I love in a footballer. He doesn't give up. He's got an amazing engine. He gets up and down the field. He would run through a brick wall for Jurgen Klopp. He is humble. He works in the community. He's got obviously a very good family background. There's nothing to dislike about Andy Robertson. He is one of life's good guys who is getting what he deserves in life because of the hard work and dedication and never give up attitude that he's had. And that's really important. Never ever give up. He's a good example. I'm not a fan of Jamie Vardy, but I will always use him as an example of a player never to give up. Jamie Vardy, a non-league player who came up through the divisions, played for his country, won the Premier League, and has done fantastic things. I wouldn't begrudge him a second of it. He's done amazingly well. Then, of course, you've got other examples as well. Connor Cody didn't make it at Liverpool, went back down, joined Wolves. Came back up with Wolves, captain in a very good Wolves team. It's just a good example to young players. If it doesn't work out at a big club at the start, don't give up, don't be disheartened, keep going. Back yourself, go back down to the divisions. There is a pathway back up if you're good enough. Will Bobby Duncan stay? Heard rumours he wants an exit. I've heard similar rumours, but he's only 18 years of age. It's his first season at the club since he joined from City. I don't think he has a right to be demanded. I don't think he's ready for the first team, if I'm being bluntly honest about it. He's had a very good season, but I don't think he's ready. I still think he's at least a year away from being ready for the first team, Bobby Duncan, and what I've seen of him. Very raw, undoubted ability, good genes, of course, being a relation of Stevie G's as well. But for me, he's not ready yet. And I don't know if he is getting into that kind of attitude of I want to be developed or I want to fuck off out. I don't know either way, but from what I've seen, he ain't ready yet for the first team. In your opinion, who's better, Wilson or that James who signed for United? I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know, because I've seen a lot of Harry Wilson, but I've seen very little of that Daniel James kid. I do think Wilson will be moved on, though. That's one thing I can say. I don't think he'll remain at Liverpool this season. How the new Messi, or whatever they want to call this Welsh kid, works out with United, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. At 18 million, though, it's a figure that United can afford to roll the dice on. I mean, 18 million in this day and age for a club as profitable as Manchester United, it's not a huge amount of money. Imran Khan said Liverpool strike force next season: Werner, Firmino, Salah, Mane, Zaha, Brewster, Wilson, Origi. Wilson won't be here. I'll be amazed if he's here. I'll keep being more blunt about that as the streams go by. Origi, I would give him a new contract. Brewster, absolutely agree with you. Zaha's an interesting one because I know he divides opinion amongst you guys out there. We've spoken about Wilfried Zaha on a few occasions, and some people think he's good, some people think he's overhyped, some people think the fee would be ridiculous, some people don't like his attitude. Again, I think there's better value in the market if value is what we're going for. But he is Premier League quality. He's coming towards his peak now. He's too good for Crystal Palace. Let's be blunt about this. Didn't work out for him at United, but that could have been any host of things. Could have been didn't get on with the manager. Could have been too early in his career. I don't know. Salah the King, thank you for the super chat, mate. You didn't put a comment in, but if there is anything you want to say, buddy, keep it coming. Alan Riley said we will need at least 4 strikers next season. Well, I think you mean forwards, buddy, but yes, minimum. Obviously we've got Salah, Mane, Firmino, Grant. Can't argue about them. Origi, there is a drop down, no matter what we think and how much we highly regard him for what he's done this season. There is a drop down in quality at the moment to Divock Origi, and Ray Brewster is an absolute wild card because we don't know. He's not proven yet. He's class and he will prove himself. I've no doubt about that. But it mightn't be this year. We might need to take it steady with him this year, and maybe we see the best of Ryan Brewster the year after. We know Jurgen Klopp is excellent at managing young talents through, but I think, yeah, I would say more than 4 if I'm being really honest, Alan, mate. I think we probably need 6 attacking minded players. Whether you include Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain in that list, I don't know. I just think I'd be very disappointed if we don't go out and sign like a Pepe, a Werner, a Fekir, or anybody in the names that we've spoken about over the past couple of streams. Anybody in that role, anyone that can play somewhere across the front 3, even a Memphis Depay, who by the way is still the most likely according to the bookies to sign for Liverpool. And I still believe 100% that something is going to happen with Lyon, because I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't believe that this friendly with Lyon is set up by accident. I honestly think that there's something going to happen. I don't know who that is. Is it Aouar? Is it Ndombele? Is it Memphis Depay? Is it Fekir? Is it the other Dembele? I haven't got a clue. But I don't believe in coincidences, and I don't think that it's a coincidence that this Lyon friendly is after coming up. Maybe you guys have read something on this. I'd love your help if you have. Sorry, I just wanted to check how many was in the chat there, because I like to keep an eye on these things just in case I've missed something. We'll be 9 subscribers away, ladies and gents, from hitting our next target, so please do keep hitting that button. And hello to everybody. Maybe it's your first time watching us, maybe you're just floating in and out. Welcome. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. What else we got? LFC Strike Force, done that one. Pepe deal nearly done. Loads of people are saying that, but none of us have any proof on that, really. Look, I love a teasing headline as much as anybody else, but none of us know about Nicolas Pepe. There was that journalist we spoke about. What was his name? Just bear with me one sec. The RMC Sports Mohamed Boufazi, who I think might be the guy that broke the Fabinho to Liverpool deal. But if it wasn't him, then the guy that did break the Fabinho to Liverpool deal has spoken about this as well. Let's wait and see. I mean, if it's right, great. It sounds like good news for the club, but either way, you want to wait and see the James Pearces, the Paul Joyces, the Melissa Reddys, the Chris Bascombs. You want to wait and see these guys put something out about it before I really start to get excited. Quick scouting on Chiesa, not convinced, said Maverick. Don't forget, mate, he is still just 21 years of age and playing in an average Fiorentina side. We don't need Ligt. We have Gomez, who was playing at a similar level to him, and if we buy Ligt, we'd be wasting a world-class talent in Gomez. We really wouldn't be, though, Ibrahim. Because again, you can't expect Joe Gomez and Virgil van Dijk to play possibly 72 games of football this season. So if you bring Ligt in, he's going to get 30-35 games of football, probably in the worst case scenario, because we're going to rotate our centre-backs. We can't. It's so naive to just think about a starting 11. We can't do that. The Liverpool of 5 years ago, maybe we could have got away with that. But now, when we want to challenge for the Premier League and know that 97 points this year wasn't enough, and we've won the European Cup, we want to challenge domestically, we've got the World Club Cup, we need strength and depth. So please, 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 can we stop just thinking about teams from our first 11? Because it's quite frankly nonsense. We can't do that. We need to have, as somebody said earlier on, somewhere between 16 and 22 first team players, first team ready players. And so we don't have much of a drop off. And look, you need players to be in a match rhythm. I get that. You might get a little bit of a drop off, but I keep going back. We're fighting against Manchester City. That's the level that we need to be aspiring to. Manchester City can look to their bench They have Gabriel Jesus on their bench. They have Leroy Sané on their bench. They have, I keep forgetting Mahrez's name. They've Riyad Mahrez on the bench. They have options there. We need to have those options. We need to have game changers on our bench. We're quite strong. I'm not saying we're definitely stronger than we have been over previous years. And yes, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain will make a difference. But I still think it would be very naive of us not to add another body or two. Or three. What else have we got? I defo wouldn't take Coutinho back. Where's that gentleman's comment? Sorry. The chat skipped from me, mate. Let me find this one. I think I've lost your comment. I feel so bad about that one. Where was the Coutinho one? I'm going to keep scrolling until I find this because I feel so bad for the guy that I read his comment down and I can't. Oh, there we go. Alan Riley said, I defo wouldn't take Coutinho back. He can suck eggs. Very polite of you, mate, the way you put that. I like it. I would rather Maddison than Fekir, said LFC 1892. I fully agree with what you said. Tom Boland said Paul Turner. He dug his own hole and now he'd have jump at the chance to have him back. Known he'd do the same again. I understand that point. And I'm a spiteful fucker as well when it comes to stuff like this. Fekir, Sessegnon, Sancho, Werner, and I'll be satisfied, said Red Hulk. Sessegnon, I really think will end up at Spurs, mate. From everything I've read for months now, there's been a very strong link to the fact that he's turned down a contract at Fulham, but it seems he wants to stay in London. From what I've read, and Spurs will be an obvious choice from there. Hopefully the Hazard deal will spark some big transfers. Probably, but again, I think Real Madrid have FFP issues. They need to move players on. Gareth Bale sitting there as an example. They've got so much talent there as well. Isco, Asensio. Then you've got the aging players, the Modrics, excuse me. Obviously Sergio Ramos is going to want a new and improved deal there because he did his usual routine of I'm leaving. Do you know what? I'm not leaving because there's a new deal on the table. And I turned down a move to China because I love the club so much, even though last week I said I was leaving. So yeah, you've got him as well. Then Kroos is in midfield. They've got and their wage bill must be massive. I want Milner and Origi to stay. They deserve it, said Trev. Trev, I agree with you 100%. Both of those guys for me deserve new deals, and it looks like both will probably be in conversations around new deals. Craig, who would you rather sign from Lyon? Ndombele, Depay, or God, you love making me say that name, or Fekir. Fekir, Tussie. I have to say I'd go with Fekir there. Yeah, I'd go with Fekir. I think we missed Dembele off that list though, who's somebody who has been linked with us now at Lyon's Dembele. Mr. Steamer said, hit the like button or fuck off. And again, I love your bluntness, mate. Well in. Familiar to Brilliant said, I disagree about Wilson. His set pieces are great. I'd give him at least one season. Yeah, that's it though. His set pieces are great, mate. He drops in and out of games massively. And we can't afford to carry any passengers. He didn't set the world alight for Derby. He had some highlight reel moments. He scored some great goals. But if you actually watch his performances, he dips in and out of games quite a bit, which is not unfamiliar or unheard of, I should say, for a young player. Absolutely want to reiterate that he's still developing his game. And if we did move him on, I've always said, I think we'd be idiots not to put a first refusal or a buyback clause in that contract, even if it meant sacrificing some money. Now, there was the misinformation floating around that he only had 1 year left on his contract, which isn't true. He signed a new 5-year deal last year. You guys were kind enough to forward me that information to just remind me about that. So, from our point of view, we're in a good position for Wilson. But the player's going to want to move on. He probably will look at what happened with Ryan Kent and he won't want a similar situation of go back in, go out on loan, come back for pre-season, go out on loan. Again, I think from what I've read, he's one of the players on the list that Liverpool are looking to bring in money from. And we've done things with Jordan Ibe, I think, and a few other players where we've put in some type of a first refusal clause or something like that in the contract, and he's one that I would expect something like that in as well. But again, I just think sometimes people have been blinded by his highlight career or his year's highlight of goals. He hasn't been that great for Derby County from what I've watched, and I've kind of watched, I'd say I've watched about a quarter of his games this season. Maybe that's an exaggeration. I've watched a quite good amount of his games this season, and bar his free kicks and his wonderful strikes, he has been invisible in some parts of the games. And I don't know if I'm not qualified enough to say, but his tactical awareness and his pressing abilities, because I don't really know quite how Derby play. So it's unfair of me to judge him from that aspect. But again, look, this is all just about opinions. My opinion is nowhere near gospel, mate. Your opinion is every bit as valid as mine. But that's what we come on here for, isn't it? To just exchange opinions, get views, and try and come to a consensus on players. Maverick said, Fekir for 15 million, not going to happen. I don't mean we're not going to sign him. I mean, there's no way in God's green earth that Leon are going to sell Nabil Fekir for 15 million. And whoever put that figure out there, it must be talking shite. There's just no way that you'll get a player of that quality with 1 year left on his deal, regardless, for 15 million quid. It would just be madness. They could get so much more from, unless the knee really is as shitty as we all maybe thought it was. Liverpool Football Club have reached an agreement with Lille for the transfer of Nicolas Pepe. The players never give permission to speak to Liverpool. You've just literally thrown a load of words into a fucking sentence there, and there's no source, there's no proof. You've just threw in a sentence that said Liverpool have reached an agreement with Lille. Where's it from? Who has said it? Is there a link to the site? Has it come from the club? Other words, you're just guessing, and I don't want our subscribers being misled with nonsense unless it's absolutely true. And if it is true, mate, I'd love it to be true, but please do let me know, Eclipse Fusion, because all you've done there, mate, is just copy and paste a sentence and just thrown it in there. I'd like Pepe, but I think he'll go to Bayern, said Liam Hunter. We'll probably get someone who no one has even thought of. I would say you're spot on about that, Happily Eggs. I would say that will absolutely happen. And Liam, just to go back to you, buddy, on Pepe, if he goes to Bayern, then to borrow a phrase from Dave Henry, fuck him, because we are a much more appealing club at this moment in time. And if he wants to go to Bayern Munich over Liverpool, then great, leave him be, because, as I said, I want players, and I'm sure Klopp wants players that want to be at this football club and challenge him for the biggest honours in Europe. And with all due respect to Bayern Munich, they are a little bit away again from that, and they need to rebuild, and they've got an aging squad, and I know Ribery moved on, and I know what's his name, Robin moved on as well, and Lewandowski, while still an absolutely quality player, is getting on in age as well. So Hummel's getting on in age. They want to move on the other German international centre back who was there. What's his name? The guy we were linked with. We were vaguely linked with him last January on a loan spell. I can't think of his name right now, but yeah, he's aging as well. So they need to bring in bodies. They're moving on James Rodriguez. They don't want to sign him. They have that option after that 2-year loan deal with Real Madrid. So if he wants to go to Bayern Munich, then he's a fool, quite frankly. France lost to Turkey today with their World Cup squad. Rest in peace. Like, France have often started off qualifying campaigns awfully, mate, and just turned it back around at the end. It's a very French thing to do. Cape Town Muslim said, Klopp big on the right characters for the team, footballing ability not the only thing. Yes, absolutely agree with that, mate. It's very important to Jurgen Klopp that players want to be at the club for the right reasons. Players have the right attitude. Players are settled. Players have a good, strong mentality, and players won't come in and unsettle the fantastic atmosphere that he's built at this football club. What about João Felix? I quite frankly think that that's just not going to happen. It seems, if he's going to go anywhere, it seems like he's going to go to Manchester City by the looks of it. The AFCON starts in 2 weeks, says Aaron. Either it happens soon or we wait until that's over. True. Again, there is this little bit of international football we have now. Then we've got the AFCON. Then we've got the Copa America. So yeah, there is smaller windows to get these deals done, mate. So it is a good show. If it was for a player like Pepe, who would be, he is going to the AFCON, isn't he? Then yeah, you would expect something to get done quite soon. It's a good shout, Aaron. Matip deserves his place in the side, in the squad, 100%, Paul. In the side, I'd still go with Joe Gomez, mate, when he gets a full pre-season under his belt. But what I could say about Joe Matip is that he was nothing short of excellent this season when he came in, and did more than I would have ever expected from him, and contributed massively to that Champions League campaign and the good Premier League run. I'm nothing but respect for the guy. Who's Mark Goldbridge when you've got who needs Mark Goldbridge when you've got Anfield agenda? Keep up the good work, said King Adam 94. Thank you, mate. That's really kind of you. Look, I won't say anything bad about Mark, because I think Mark's a great lad. I like Mark. Lots of time for Mark. actually use Mark, to be quite honest. I look at Mark as not something to aspire to, but certainly somebody who's shown the way for YouTubers like myself and these type of channels. So thank you to, as I said, people who compare us to Mark or people who tag us with Red Men or the Anfield Rap. It's a massive compliment to us because these guys are the creme de la creme of content. Like, so thank you. Any news on Ruben Neves? No, not that I've seen, but I know a lot of us would love him. I've often spoken, and we haven't spoken about Grujic in a little while actually. For us to sign Ruben Neves, I think we'd have to move on Grujic, and that's not out of the realms of possibility. We've seen him linked to Atletico. We've heard that the club wants something like 40 or 45 million to him. I've also heard rumours of Grujic going back on loan to Germany to a team that will be playing in European competition next season to gain experience in the European club competitions. Ruben Neves will be quality. I mean, there's no two ways about that. The kid's absolutely amazing. I don't know if we need a Ruben Neves type player right now, but again, I'd put him in the same bracket as Ligt if the option becomes available to sign a player of that quality. You'd be foolish not to at least explore it. And Pep Linders has 6 or 7 years coaching background with Ruben Neves from his time at Porto, so yeah, I mean, I'd love it. And we have a relationship with George Mendes as well, who I believe was Fabinho's agent, so we know that we have done deals with George Mendes in the past. Now, Wolves would probably want, and quite rightly so, an astronomical fee for the guy. Maybe there's something in his contract, I don't know, because getting him to Wolves was interesting enough. So I've always believed there's probably some type of a clause in his contract that will allow him to go to one of Europe's top sides should they come in from, but that's just a guess. Sarah Smart said we're not getting Neves. I don't think we are either, Sarah, but somebody asked the question, so I'm going to take the time to answer it. Prefer De Beek over Neves, said Eric Worry. Again, somebody who I've only seen play in the Champions League with Ajax this season. Van der Beek, I haven't seen much more of him. He looks quite impressive. Again, a player who I've seen linked to Spurs. Couple of links to Liverpool, but nothing that I would have said was nailed on. But then again, we were just talking a few minutes ago about the possibility of us signing somebody completely under the radar, so the fact that he hasn't been linked in the media probably doesn't mean anything, to be fair. Neves is more of a holding midfielder, said Liam. Exactly. He's what I kind of call a regista type midfielder, somebody who sits back, sprays passes around, great with set pieces as well, unbelievable passing stats. Yeah, a very good footballer who's only just going to get better and better and better as he gets older. What else we got? What's your thoughts about Newcastle takeover? Looks likely. My thoughts are that I'm not educated enough on football finance to really give an opinion on this. All I want is for whoever the fuck owns clubs to work within the parameters of FFP and the rules set down. If somebody comes in and buys Newcastle, and look, I have a lot of time for Newcastle. Obviously, I love Rafa Benitez. Newcastle fans are a good, die-hard bunch of football fans that love their club and follow the club passionately. So I would like the best for Newcastle fans as well. But if it's just going to be another rich man's plaything, and if the rules are going to be flouted, then I don't want it happening. But if they come in and they work like maybe FSG works within the parameters of FFP, does things cleverly, builds the club up, then why not? It's just what happens though. That's the interesting thing, how they go about spending the money at the club. Yeah, it's interesting. It will be an interesting project for anybody to take on though, Newcastle. I mean, they've got a big stadium already. As I said, they've got a really die-hard fan base up there, and people that just want the team to do well, and it makes sense for somebody to buy Newcastle. I'm actually surprised it's taken this long for Ashley to look to agree a deal with somebody. The Porto striker we played against, it wasn't Ibrahim, was it? Is that the guy you're thinking about? Or Brahimi, sorry, is it Brahimi? Is that the guy's name? I think the only big buy we'll have will be Pepe, said Saeed. 3 more days of exams, says Roberto. I hope they go well, mate. I wish you well in them, and then as you said, you've got your summer off. Crosby Red, how are you? I didn't see you in the chat there. I don't know if you've just popped in. Hello to you. What about Neves or Moutinho? Moutinho is Moutinho like 32 or something like that, mate? I think he's really, really old. Neves we spoke about, but João Moutinho, if that's who you're talking about, no, there's no way we're going to go and get him. Who's the one person we need to sign in this window? Well, look, I could give you my opinion, but It's a good question to put to the group. Ladies and gentlemen, if I can give you one name. Where was the question? Sorry, I want to make sure I give credit. Oh, the chat's skipping so much. There, Zesky said, who's the one player we need to sign this window? For you, ladies and gentlemen, one player. Who would it be? If you could only have one player in this window, give me a name. And we're only 5 subscribers away, guys, as well, from hitting 16,700. We're creeping towards 17k bit by bit. Anything about the Ligt? No, Tina, mate. Nothing really new, to be fair. I'll be just lying to you. If I actually said to Connor, let's make sure we have a day off from the Ligt today with regards to transfer rumours, because I've seen nothing new at all. Griezmann can... Did somebody mention Griezmann can fuck off as far as I'm concerned? Excuse my French, but I don't want Antoine Griezmann and his everything is about Antoine Griezmann lifestyle and attitude anywhere near this football club. Nowhere near it, thank you very much. Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, I just hate that lad's attitude. I hate the way he treated Atletico's fans. I hate the way he teased everybody with that bullshit 2 DVDs or videos last year, and then again this year fucked him over again and said he was moving on. No chance whatsoever. Antoine Griezmann can piss off. Don't want him anywhere near Liverpool. Pepe will go to Bayern as he's only has to get past Gnabry to be a first teamer. Put it this way, is it WD Red? If you're a footballer, mate, and you're after having the season that he's had with Lille, you look at Liverpool, you look at Bayern Munich. If his attitude is, well, I'll get in over Gnabry at Bayern Munich, therefore I'm going to Bayern Munich, then I don't want him at the club. Because I want a player who will look at Sadio Mane, look at Mohamed Salah, look at Bobby Firmino and go, yeah, I'm going to have maybe 1 in every 2 games or something and rotate it in. But you know what? When I get in there, I'm going to show them what I'm worth. And I'm going to show them that I'm worth that 80 million that they paid and that I'm a superstar and that I belong in a club like this. And then I'm going to push them onto the bench. And that's the exact attitude that Jurgen Klopp will want to hear when he sits down to talk to any potential signing. He doesn't want players who just looks at an easy route and goes, just Gnabry. Oh well, I'll go to Bayern Munich. And I'm sure as a fan, mate, you don't want that either. You want somebody that believes in their ability and will come in and go, well, fuck this, I don't care. I don't care who's ahead of me here. When I get my chance, I'm tearing this league up and you're not going to have any choice but to play me because I'm that damn good. And I'm going to prove that I'm that good. That's the attitude I want in a player. You want a little bit of arrogance. Arrogance is okay. Belief is okay. But work rate as well. And again, all things I think Jurgen Klopp is going to want to have in any player that comes into this football club. Griezmann is a tart, said Gonans. I like the way you've described him there, mate. Ruben, top lad on his passing right. Ruben Neves is class. I mean, he is class. He would be a luxury signing for us, but he is class. Would I take Rafa back at Liverpool? No, because we have Jurgen Klopp. I'm not a believer in going back either, by the way. It rarely works out when somebody goes back like that. The fact that Zidane's gone back to Madrid is an absolute desperation move by Florentino Perez because the club was up shit creek. Rafael Benitez will forever go down in Liverpool folklore, not just for what he's done for the club winning the Champions League and installing us as probably the number 1 ranked side in Europe for a couple of seasons. What he's done himself and his wife for the city of Liverpool, for charity in Liverpool and in Newcastle, and continues to still do. It goes deeper than football with Rafael Benitez in Liverpool. The man is an institution in Liverpool. The man will be always looked on with the grace, and he showed tremendous grace and humility and loving. He loved this fucking city, and we love him, and we will forever love him. But I wouldn't have him back now, no, because we've got Jurgen Norbert Klopp, and after that, let's wait and see what happens. I think everybody's dream scenario is that Mr. Gerrard goes and gets some more managerial experience. And as I've always said, my perfect thing will be for there to be a year's crossover there between Gerrard and Klopp, where Gerrard comes in as Klopp's number 2 and then maybe eases himself into the job. But it's hard for me to say no to Rafa because I worship the ground the man walks on. I love him so much. And he is one of the most articulate, dedicated, knowledgeable, tactically astute managers you will ever come across in the game. But I like the style of football that we're playing now under Klopp. At times under Rafa there was some dull, ground out 1-0 games, and that's alright. I mean, you need them. There was also some great times as well, but I just love what we're doing under Jurgen Klopp. I love the direction the club is going in. I wish the very best for Rafa. and I'm sure he will remain entwined with this club forever, and rightly so, because he won the European Cup. The man is a legend. But no, sorry for the long-winded answer, by the way. I do realise I went on a bit of a waffle there, but I do love Rafael Benitez. I don't think LFC needs a tall striker who can utilise the quality of crosses the fullbacks, or at least a plan B. I don't believe in plan B. If there's one thing I'll agree with Pep Guardiola on, and I love that he said this, is if plan A isn't working, then we need a better plan A, or we need to revisit plan A. And that's the way I believe as well. Plan B is, I mean, to an extent, once in a blue moon, you might need a plan B. But the plan B could be lumping Virgil van Dijk up there rather than bringing in a striker for these once in a blue moon jobs. Van Dijk's quite capable of going up there and playing as a target man if needs be, for if we're chasing a game right at the end. No, I'm more about believing in Klopp, what Klopp wants to do, and the players playing the way he wants them to play right till the end, and believing that chance will eventually come. And that's what we've seen this season, and we've seen the players grind out wins right at the end of the games as well. Plan Bs are, I think they're a cop-out, if I'm being really honest. It's very easy to just lash a big man in there and throw crosses in. I mean, United were at it for a while, to be fair, and it's easy to defend against as well. You just block the crosses and you just make sure that nothing comes into the box, or you make sure that you win the second balls against a big man. Premier League defenders, top caliber defenders, will work that out fairly easily. So, nah, not for me, not that type of a player. Who's my top 3 musical artists? Jeez, that's a pretty random question. I've quite an eclectic taste when it comes to music, mate. So, Jay-Z is top of my list. I mean, Jigga is I fucking love Jay-Z. So Jay-Z be top of my list. Throw Garth Brooks on that list as well, because I'm a massive fan of Garth Brooks. I know you probably laugh at that, but yeah, since I was a child, I was at his show in Croke Park, I think 18 or 19 years ago. Love Garth Brooks, so we'll throw Garth Brooks in there as well, and let's mix it up a little bit. It has to be Oasis, doesn't it? I know it's old school. I know they're no longer technically a band. I know Liam and Noel do their own solo stuff, but Oasis was my teenage years growing up, so I'll always love Oasis. But I mean, I listen to Logic. I would listen to not so much bands these days, to be fair. I've always kind of tended to move towards rap and hip hop. So Drake, Lucas Joyner, yeah, but as I said, so eclectic. I mean, I would listen to anything. I would listen to boy bands. I would listen to dance music. I would listen to Metallica. I mean, a little bit of everything. I think I don't really have. And Rick Astley. Somebody said Rick Astley there. Rick Astley as well. I mean, do you know what I mean? Never gonna give you. Gotta love a bit of Rick Astley. Yeah, loads of people. I just have really eclectic musical tastes, mate. I like a little bit of everything. But thank you for the question, because I mean, I'll tell you what. Let me just for the laugh have a look at my Spotify playlist. I'll call you out a couple of songs on my Spotify playlist, and that'll probably give you an idea of my right playlists. Where we go, playlists, Craig. So I've got Kano on there. I've got Machine Gun Kelly. I've got Biggie, of course. I've got the Fugees, Nas, The Streets, 50 Cent, Kanye West, Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, I think you can see a bit of a what's the word I'm looking for? Pattern here. Kate Nash, Jay-Z, Drake, LL Cool J. What else we got? Bit of Usher on there. Akon, David Guetta, Creed, My Sacrifice. Absolutely love that song. Sean Paul, Boys to Men, Trey Songz, Wiley. Yeah, mostly hip hop and rap, to be fair. Okay, what else we got? Rest in peace, Justin Edinburgh. Said Douglas James Horn. We spoke about that earlier on in the stream, mate. And 49 years of age is very, very young to pass away. So yeah, and Tupac. Yeah, great shout, Sarah. Gotta love Tupac. I think Tupac has the best beef song in the history of, or the best beef is the word I'm looking for, isn't it? The best fuck you song basically of all time. But yeah, you gotta love Tupac. Yeah, Wu-Tang as well. Yeah, gotta go old school. Love a bit of Wu-Tang Clan. MGK is good. I wouldn't have you down as a hip hop fan. I was a hip hop DJ, mate. That's where I told you guys before, I was a DJ when I was younger. Well, started out in dance music, but moved towards running a hip hop night and promoting a hip hop night in the nightclub that I was a DJ in. Yeah, hip hop is hip hop and rap, man, is definitely where my love is most of the time. MGK is good. 27 is an amazing song. 27 is probably my favourite Machine Gun. Like Rap Devil was great, let's be honest about it. But 27, I love that song. Bob Marley, yeah, of course, classics, love it. The Beatles, actually, I don't like the Beatles. I know people are going to look at me going, how can you like Oasis, dickhead, and not like the Beatles? I just don't like the Beatles. I don't know what it is. Of course they have some good songs. I'm not going to be stupid enough to hit them, but it's just not my cup of tea. My wife loves the Beatles, but not for me. This song, yeah, that's the one I was looking for. This song, yeah. A lot of rappers are... yeah, there's a lot of ghostwriting goes on when it comes to rap as well. Anyway, back to the football, said Willow. Yes, exactly. Back to the football. Grandmaster Flash twice, Stevie Richards. Don't push me, cause I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. Yeah, I love that. You gotta love a bit of Grandmaster Flash. What else we got? I'm going to watch Pink Floyd, Australian bands in Liverpool on the 21st. Pink Floyd, Australia band. Is it like a cover band, Paul, is it? £28 the tickets have been 5 times. Nice. Yeah, Pink Floyd have had some amazing songs as well. One of them was covered by an Irish band called Aslan, Wish You Were Here. I mean, it's just an amazing song. Apparently we've offered 59 million for Pepe. I think we'd need to go past that, Sean, mate. You said we can see us gone past the 65 million pound mark. Although, look, I can say 59 million, but it's Michael Edwards. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, he can do anything. DJ Baldy with Rick Astley. Tell me everybody doesn't love a bit of Rick Astley. Come on, be honest about it. Tell me you haven't. Every time It Never Gonna Give You Up comes on, you don't do the little hip shuffle. You'd be lying to me if you said otherwise. Can you catch me up on the transfer rumours? There isn't really any, mate. And you haven't just came in. You've been on here ages, and Gab. Come on, or Geb. Tell the truth, mate. You've been on here at least half an hour. That's how City get over, because they're willing to pay the wages. What's the point? Sorry, Mark. I might have missed something, Mark Anthony Vieira, earlier on, or a comment or something that has led to this, but I don't know what you're talking about, mate, with regard to the wages. So sorry, I probably just missed your comment. Haynes said, I like the Anfield rap, as in the song or the podcast, because I like both, to be fair. Cundy still crying about the penalty in the final. He said Liverpool won by default. Let me just... Jason Cundy can suck my nuts. I hope I made that quite clear. Him and his whinging can fuck right off. He said we won by default. Is this the same Jason Cundy that was celebrating when Manchester City scored against Spurs, a club that he played for? Is that the same Jason Cundy? Is that the same two-faced twat that was saying, basically celebrating when City scored? Is that the same Cundy? He's wearing his Spurs pants now, is he? The fucking arrogant fuck. Jason Cundy, as I said, can suck my nuts. I despise him. The man is just a cretin. I don't know what else to say about him. He's a gobshite. Yeah, he's a gobshite. He's an absolutely London-centric, anti-Liverpool, anti-anything northern by the sounds of it. He's now crying poor mouth, or crying fucking bad luck at Spurs when he was booing them, basically. Fuck off, Cundy. No Gar Brooks on that playlist. No, he's got a separate playlist, Brian. He's got his own playlist. You saw Rick on Thursday, Stephen. Nice. 3 subscribers away, ladies and gents. Can we get 3 subscribers in the last 20 minutes before we finish up? Diss track on Cundy. I wouldn't even waste my time doing a diss track on Cundy. I would absolutely punch fuck out of him in a boxing ring for charity. Oh God, yes, I would do that. I seem to have been a lot of aggro lately about wanting to jump in boxing rings with people, don't I? But it's kind of something I've always wanted to do as well. Cundy, what is he? He's probably a few years older than me, to be fair, but I'd say I probably have a few pounds on him and he's a bit fitter than me, but I would love it. I would do that for charity. Oh God, I would do that for charity. I would dedicate my life for 6 months to get in that ring and kick Cundy around it for the space of whatever amount of rounds it would be, 6 or whatever it is. I despise that man. He's a gobshite. He is a mouthy, arrogant, horrible little fool that just says things for a reaction and talks out his arse. Constantly talks out his arse. And I've seen the arrogance of him towards callers at times as well. from little bits and pieces of it. I don't watch or listen to talk shite because they talk shite and fuck them. But yeah, no, Cundy. Sorry, I know I went on a bit of a rant there, but yeah, Cundy, he's just horrible, horrible, horrible. Sometimes you look at people and you look at Robbie Savage and you just think, alright, Savage sometimes a little bit mad, says a few crazy things, but underneath it all, I look at Robbie Savage and I genuinely believe that Robbie Savage is a good human being. I look at Cundy and I just see an arsehole. That's all I see when I see Jason Cundy. What about Joe Dolan? My man loved Joe Dolan, Adam. My man loved Joe Dolan. I'm still in disbelief we won the Champions League, said Zeski. Don't be, mate. Champions of Europe. Do you know what I mean? It's in our DNA. European royalty. 6 times now, baby. 6 times. And it's weird because we were finalists last year, so should it really be a surprise that we were back there? I suppose the way it went through, that save right at the death of the Napoli game by Alisson, then coming back from 3-0 down, yeah, I suppose there was some surprises in there. I mean, after that first leg, I probably didn't believe we were going to go on and win the European Cup, to be honest, but we did, and I'll forever be grateful of those boys for putting in that effort and for getting there. And Gab said, so am I pronouncing your name correctly, mate? Is it Nageb? I'm so sorry. I want to try and get it correct. So could you phonetically spell it out for me if I'm making a mess of it? Michael Edwards, do everything in your power to bring in Ryan Fraser. I'd seen him linked with Arsenal, but that seems to have gone quite quiet as well. Cundy was Chelsea, not Spurs. He played for both clubs, Gonads. He played for Chelsea for a much larger portion of his career, but he did play for Spurs as well. What else we got? Goldstein, not much better, said Sarah Smart. Yeah, again, I've heard not some great stuff about him, but I don't really listen to talk shite because, well, look, there's obvious reasons why. Craig Crosby said, calm down, calm down. Yeah, I know. Well, look, I need to get it out of my system, mate. It's been a while since I've had a bit of a rant like that, so I feel good. I'm not going to lie. I feel like the old Craig's still in there somewhere. Is this the lad that's on talk shite? Yes, it is him, Scotty. And I refuse to say the channel's real name. I will just say talk shite from now on. I hate Cundy, said Douglas James Horn. I love boxing, so do I. Massive fan of boxing. Mr. Steamer, I like arseholes, mate. You always make me smile. Tom Boland said, so Jason Cundy's views that we won on a penalty decision, ignoring the fact we scored 2 and they didn't score, but yeah, we got cheated. Why would you maybe ask why Sissoko was pointing in the penalty spot and had his arm up like this? Again, Liverpool didn't make that decision, mate. The referee and VAR made the decision for the penalty. Spurs had 88 minutes to try and get that game back and couldn't score, so how they were robbed, I don't know, but knowing that it's winding him up just makes me feel better about it. Actually, it adds to the victory, if anything else. So whoever said that originally in the chat, and I can't remember who it was, thank you. Because knowing that little gobshite is fuming over something makes my life even a bit better. Apart from Liverpool pundits, who's my favourite? As I said before, I really like Jake Humphries, one of the hosts on BT. I think he does an amazing job. Very good at what he does. Pundit wise, who else has been good? I thought Lampard, before he became a manager, was actually quite a good pundit. Neville is great. You're saying non-Liverpool. Gary Neville's brilliant at what he does. You can take the whole Mank thing out of it. He's an excellent pundit. Of course he's biased towards United, but look, we'd expect the same from Carragher when it comes to Liverpool. Who else is good? I'm thinking of the big channels here. Obviously, El Hairy Hands and Mr. Dinosaur at beIN Sport, they're past it. They can pack it up as well. On BT, sometimes Rio actually talks semi-decent stuff, and then he comes out with absolute garbage and you just wonder how he ever thought he knew anything about the sport. But sometimes he does talk, he talks some sense, Rio Ferdinand. Sometimes I find myself warming to him and then he says something and I immediately dislike him again. But yeah, that's about it really. I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot of great pundits out there unless I'm missing somebody really obvious. Danny Murphy is, I know you said no Liverpool, but he's awful. Jermaine Genius is probably the worst pundit on television. Lineker's a very good host, to be fair. I think he does a very good professional job. Alan Shearer, I go either way on. Sometimes I like what he says, sometimes I don't. Ian Wright, actually, yeah, right, Ian Wright. I like listening to Ian Wright. I like him probably because he's very pro-Liverpool at this moment in time, but I like anybody that genuinely speaks their mind and doesn't just say stuff for a reaction. And I like people that wear their heart on their sleeve, so that's why I probably like the Jamie Carragher's, the Nevilles, the Ian Wrights of this world. People that actually say what they believe and not what they feel they should be saying. If that makes any sense. I hope that makes some sense. I know most of the stuff I come out with doesn't. We're champions of Europe. We're never going to stop, said Gonads. Ian Wright is class, said Tom Jones. Yeah, and he backed us a lot. Who's Hairy Hands? Richard Keys, mate. Sorry. I should have been clearer on that one. Richard Keys is Hairy Hands. Yeah, I just assume everybody knows these stupid little nicknames. My bad, mate. I should have made that clearer. Richard, yeah, just Google Richard Keys if you don't know any of the stories about him. I don't want to get in trouble by saying any of them on here. Can't stand Tyler, said Mr. Smith. Yeah, I wouldn't be overly gone on Martin Tyler either, to be fair. Ian Dark, I can give her a take as well. Dark, that it is Ian Dark. I always wonder, is it Dark or Dart? I think it's Dark with an E at the end, isn't it? Yeah, he's not too bad. Yeah, there's not many great and there should be more, to be fair. Somebody's family, somebody have a loss in their family. Sorry, I'm seeing people passing on their condolences, and of course I want to try and find that comment. Callum, I believe. Callum, where's your comment, buddy? Oh, Callum, you're Bernadette's nephew. Firstly, mate, welcome, and again, like everybody else in the chat, mate, condolences on the passing of your great aunt, I believe. It would be correct. And our love to the family, and of course to Bernadette as well, mate. And welcome in. Great, who else? Chris Sutton, he's funny. If nothing else, Chris Sutton is funny. He does come out with some nonsense. I would kind of put Sutton in the same class as Cammy, in that he's just come out with some absolute madness from time to time. Geez, what are we going to sing when we win it next year? Seven's a tricky one. I will come up with something, Claire. You know we will, mate. You know we will. Peter Drury, he's not too bad, to be fair, Raymond. I don't mind Peter Drury. Janice is great if football isn't your sport. He should just stick to his Giacomo ads. Janice, Raphael Honigstein, that's actually, do you know what? You've nailed that, mate. Sorry, Daly, you have absolutely nailed it. Raphael Honigstein, Julian Laurent, James Richardson. Love every single one of those guys. Love anybody. The guys that do the Champions League goals show on BT. Everybody that's involved in that show. James Richardson, Julian Laurent, Raphael Honigstein, and there's somebody else I'm forgetting about as well. One more person. Brilliant. Definitely the best show when it comes to sport. Maybe Monday Night Football is a great show, but I love the way you get to see the goals on BT go in the Champions League group stages immediately. So yes, Daly, I completely forgot about those guys, mate. That's a brilliant show. And do you know what? Arsene Wenger is actually quite a good television pundit as well. And when Mourinho hasn't got his anti-Liverpool bias on, he can talk some sense. Nichols a bad pundit, said Hayne. But yes, you've saved my bacon there, Daly, because Raphael Honigstein, Julian Laurent, James Richardson, those guys are just quality stuff. Jim Beglin is great, actually. Yes, sorry, Familiar to Billions. That's a good show. I've always got a lot of time for Jim Beglin. I think he speaks a lot of sense. A player who I wish would have had a longer career, obviously. And obviously I'm a little bit biased about this, Jim Beglin being from Ireland. Labs Gamer said, hey Craig, Sols, I'm 18, what's the scoop? Not too much tonight, mate. A lot of stuff going around. People believe that Nicolas Pepe is close to signing for Liverpool, but other people believe it's a shootout between us and Bayern Munich for his signature. What else we got? Shearer, he's okay. Gabriel McCauley's good as well. Daly, again, you're nailing it, mate. All of these guys, anybody involved in that BT show with James Richardson, they're always quality. Better at punditry than managing, said Antoango. What do I think of Jason Cundy as a pundit? Is he employed as a pundit? I know he's a radio show host and he does the stuff on Talk Show, but I mean, he's an ex-player, so you'll always have to give him the respect of the fact that he's played the game at the very highest level. But He's an idiot. He's a gobshite. Let's just be blunt about it. He's a gobshite. Owen Hargreaves, somebody said. Michael Owen, his voice puts me to sleep, if I'm being honest, mate. Michael Owen, I don't want to listen to him at all. The piece that he done about his career, where he opened up about the moves, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Newcastle, I think fair play to him on that, because I think that was a very good, frank and honest thing for him to do, and I thought that was a very good piece. What else we got? Why do they only have footballers as pundits? Melissa Reddy should be off. Melissa Reddy is certainly breaking in now. She's working with ESPN at the moment as well. I think she's still employed with Joe. I think she does stuff for Sky as well at time, and yeah, she's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. She's written some of the best articles I've read over the past few years on football content. I cannot recommend Melissa Reddy's stuff enough. She's brilliant, and she deserves every success that she has. Alex Scott said Ngab is the best pundit. I haven't actually watched much of Alex Scott. Again, though, a lot of people think that she's magnificent, and I just genuinely haven't seen much of her. James Horncastle is the bloke I'm thinking of. Philip, nailed it, mate. That's the bloke I'm trying to think of. Yeah, he's class. Everybody on that BT Sports Champions League goal show. I think it's because of James Richardson. When you think of James Richardson, people of my age, you think of him sitting, on the Football Italia show on Channel 4. You think of him sitting in a little piazza somewhere having an espresso with the pink, can't remember the name of the newspaper, the pink sports newspaper open in front of him. Is it the Gazzetta dello Sport maybe? I think that was it. Yeah, just fond memories. So anytime I see or hear James Richardson on the Guardian podcast or his own podcasts, or see him on TV, I always make time to listen to him because I think he's brilliant. Any update on João Pedro? Nothing, Chris, since the links to Manchester City, mate, that I've seen. But again, he is with Portugal at the minute getting ready for a Nations League final, so things would probably be quite quiet while that's happening. Am I watching the cricket? No, don't watch cricket, mate. Sorry, it's not my cup of tea altogether. Right, we have about 10 more minutes to go, ladies and gents, and we need 2 subs to pass by our next target. There's 338 people watching at the minute. Surely we have 2 superstars out there that haven't subscribed yet and can hit that button and get us past our next target of 100. We've been really good. The last few nights we've passed all our targets on the stream. So if you're watching, you're enjoying the stream, don't forget everything on here is free. It's always going to be free. Just a reminder that we killed off Patreon as well, because I know some people were asking about that. Yeah, we killed it off because we just felt it went against the ethos of everything being free on here. Even though technically there wasn't much there, it just didn't feel right for us. And when we talked about it more, we just said, nah, we'll work other ways to try and bring in revenue to keep the content free, because it's always going to be free no matter what happens. I'd rather shut the channel down than start charging for content. And yeah, so again, just sorry for people that were signed up on Patreon, but we just didn't feel that it was the right move for us in the long run, and we want to keep stuff free. So yeah, there you go, always going to be free. Podcasts have started again, as I said earlier on. The podcast went out today at lunchtime, the one with myself, Cash, Chris and Dave. Check that one out, it was brilliant. We were down in Connors today in Wexford, myself, Brian and Connor, and we filmed 3 segments for you. So 3 segments to look forward to. One of these segments is on Virgil van Dijk and will he win the Ballon d'Or, or does he deserve to win the Ballon d'Or. Another segment was on God, I've already forgotten them. This is how bad I am. Another segment we filmed was on oh yes, the kit supplier. What kit supplier we want going forward. And then the other kit supply, or the other segment that we filmed, I can't remember what it was actually. I'm sure Brian will remind me because I'm awful. Memory's gone completely. This is Brian. I'm expecting you to bail me out here, mate. I can't remember what that third thing was that we spoke about. Craig, have to say the podcast was brilliant. Thank you, Mark. I actually, do you know what? I thought it was a great podcast myself, mate. And for a group of people that we haven't spoken to each other, some of us for a year, I honestly thought that the lads nailed it. I thought they knocked it out of the park. I thought it was an excellent podcast. What's the news about the Ligt? There is none. I don't think we said that there was any. Yari, if I'm being honest, mate, I don't remember us putting out that there was any news on the Ligt. And I say that because I don't want to lie to people. I don't want to give you any false information. We used to like Football Italia on a Sunday afternoon on Channel 4. Oh, it was brilliant, wasn't it? It was absolutely class. At that time, Serie A was definitely the sexiest league in the world. It was definitely the one that, was the most attractive to players. The money was in Italy at that moment in time as well, but it was just the way, the whole show, everything about it. James Richardson was brilliant. It was just good to see the goals, and you got a little bit of behind the scenes stuff as well, which was great. What else we got? I'm worried will VVD win the Ballon d'Or. Well, listen to our pod or listen to our segment on that, mate, and let me know what you think about it. I don't want to talk about it now because I feel like it'll undermine the stuff that we recorded earlier on. Connor, that's going to be the first segment that's released, by the way. The VVD, will he win the Ballon d'Or? I think Connor's going to try and have that out either tomorrow, depending on how hungover he is, or perhaps Monday. But do keep an eye out for it. It's only about 15, 20 minutes long max, something like that. This is why I don't mention things at all. We've lost subscribers there. We dropped down to 95. The thing is though, I can track these. So people that think they're being funny about it, it's hilarious until we just remove you from the channel constantly, and then it's bye bye. So I always do check these things out. So again, if you don't like the channel and you unsubscribe, hey, that's absolutely sound as well, but I will find your ass. I do have a particular set of skills, and I will use them, and I will remove you. And I'm not even joking. I am that fucking petty that I will. That's what you're dealing with me. Of course, we want everybody to be happy, and if you're not happy, you've every right to unsubscribe. What else have we got? How likely do you think we are to get Pepe or Fernandes? I'd say there's probably a 50-50 chance we'll get one of the two, although I genuinely haven't got a clue which one, and I'm completely guessing at that number. Bruno Fernandes, I'd be amazed if he goes to City now after saying what he said. United have made a strong play for him. Again, let's just wait and see what happens. Something's going to happen, and I keep coming back to this Lyon thing. I do believe that that friendly with Lyon is no accident. I genuinely believe it's no accident. Can we get Brian on more live streams? Yeah, of course we can. If Brian has the time and the internet signal. Because of course, Brian's welcome on here anytime. Daniel Sturridge out, Nicolas Pepe in, said Xavier. I mean, that would be grand, wouldn't it? I'm drunk, are we signing Werner or not? Well, you won't remember, mate, if you're drunk, so there's no point in me telling you. But just have another drink and enjoy your evening and read the papers and see what comes out tomorrow. I love winding people up, I'm sorry. But have a nice night anyway. Liam Neeson in the Liverpool supporter, of course. I'm only fucking winding people up. Do you really think I know how to figure out if somebody unsubscribed or not? I told you, I'm an idiot when it comes to stuff like this. I was completely winding you. How the fuck would I find out who unsubscribed? Not a chance I'd find out. But I would rather if people did enjoy what they're doing on here, obviously. That's the main thing. I want people to come on here, and we've always spoken about it being a place we want people to kick back and relax and have some fun and be able to express themselves. And maybe if you want to have a different persona that you have in real life, that's cool as well. I take everything on here as a bit of fun. I mean, tracking people down, come on. Do you think that this stupid gobshite can really track people down like that? I can barely turn on my computer, ladies and gentlemen. What software do we use for a channel? OBS. OBS, mate, is what we use for like the screen images that you can see, and then there's a green screen behind me as well. We have okay, I'll take you through everything. So I use this microphone, which is a Rode NT USB microphone on a Rode boom arm. I use a MacBook Pro personally for what I do. The web camera that I use is a Logitech Brio. In my mind, it's probably the best webcam on the market at a reasonable price. As I said, there's a ring light in the background. I use a wireless keyboard and mouse. I have a monitor here beside me that I read all your comments from. And that's about it, really. Again, there's a few other bits and pieces and a few other programs that are out of my wheelhouse and that I leave to Connor. But yeah, that's it. And if you ever do have any questions, by the way, please ask if I can help you out, if I can give you an answer. I mean, I'm an open book on here. Craig wants to get paid. Fair play. From what? What am I getting paid from? I don't know what you mean by Craig wants to get paid. I really don't get that, Sarah, at all. If I did want to get paid, there would be easier ways of doing it. I would be not doing live streams for a start, because there's more money in pre-recording stuff and putting it up than there is in live streams. A lot more money. Your particular set of skills is my particular set of skills is ringing up Connor in a panic, going, Connor, what the fuck is going on? I don't understand what's happening here on the screen. Why is it saying this? Make it better, make it better. And then I give him the login to the wireless login, and he comes onto my computer and fixes everything. Just joined. What's the talk? Not too much, Connor, mate, at all. To be fair, there isn't. It's quite quiet. Loads of stuff going around Nicolas Pepe, and I hope to God that the rumours are true. I hope that I wake up tomorrow and my scepticism has been completely misaimed. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Has been. I don't know. I'm actually struggling to string this fucking sentence together. My scepticism has been unfounded there. That's probably what I'm trying to say. Seeing the Babel article, Craig says that he's fought back from depression after leaving us and still with him every day. I did know about that, mate. Thank you, Azzy. I will have a read of that. And of course, you want people to live healthy lives, and I hope that Babel's okay. And thank you. I will read up on that though. I don't want to talk about something like that when I don't really have any information on it. After the Nations League, we see what happens on the tracks. Disproven. Yeah, something like that, mate. Do you think Robertson is better than Ashley Cole? Look, Ashley Cole, he kind of redefined the position to an extent, and he was an amazing fullback. And Andy Robertson is going to have a great career, but it's very early to compare the two. You're talking about different eras. I know Ashley Cole's still technically playing with Derby, but yeah, I don't want to disrespect Ashley Cole, but I do hold Andy Robertson in the highest of esteem, obviously, because he's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And he could be absolutely. Right, a couple more comments, ladies and gents, before I head off and let you guys have your Saturday night. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good weekend. Obviously, we've got the Nations League final tomorrow. We've got Holland up against Portugal, and then England are playing Switzerland, I think a bit earlier on in the day, aren't they, if memory serves me correct? What time is the England game on at, actually, ladies and gents? And please do keep hitting that subscribe button as well if you're enjoying the stream. Got to head off now. There's still over 300 people watching. So look, if you're enjoying it, hit it. If it's not for you, absolutely understand. Trent's worth 150 million at least at Ashley Woodhouse. Most likely transfer that'll be done for Liverpool. I'd be guessing breadsticks, mate. And I don't want to give you false information. I'd be absolutely guessing. 2 o'clock. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Yeah. So look, shall we leave it there? I don't really think. Let me just check my notes because there might be. Oh yeah, there was Darren Bent. Remember him? Blast from the past, does a bit of stuff on Sky. Darren Bent said that he wouldn't be surprised to see Ajax star Mathijs de Ligt end up at Liverpool this summer. I'll take it. Do you know what I mean? I'll take it. I'll take anything that links us to Mathijs de Ligt. I don't think he'll sign for us, but I absolutely hope that he does and think we should be in that conversation. But I think that was the only thing I'd missed out on from my notes tonight there was about Darren Bent. And I don't know, has anybody else seen anything that I've missed before we head off? I'm not reading that comment out, Mr. Steamer. You lunatic, you. What else we got? Nope. Cool. Look, we leave it there for the night, ladies and gents. If you haven't checked out the pod, as I said earlier on, I think it's a really good podcast. It's about an hour long, and it was so good to catch up with the guys. If you don't know who I'm talking about, when we started off, we were a podcast, and it was myself, Chris, Cash, Dave, and Tom at the time. Tom wasn't on this one, actually. I didn't get a chance to reach out to Tom, but there was myself, there was Chris, there was Cash, and there was Dave, and it was brilliant. It was so much fun catching up with them. The guys are very knowledgeable when it comes to the club. Chris is amazing when it comes to all things technical as well, as is Cash. Again, not meaning to say that Dave isn't, but I just hold these guys in such a high esteem that if you like football podcasts, give it a try, because I think you'll like it, and you'll get to hear other opinions that aren't just mine, and the opinions that are, you know, a lot more educated than mine at times as well. And I love the guys, and it was great to catch up with them. And I've left it as a bit of an open-ended thing, so we can make sure to catch up again and do another one or two over the course of the summer when the guys are free. Cash is going to be on Monday night, by the way. She's going to be on the stream on Monday night for a chat, so if you had anything you wanted to ask or anything like that, get your questions ready, because Cash is an absolute font of football and knowledge, and a super intelligent lady as well. I don't know where she gets the time to do what she does. Qualified solicitor, studying to be a journalist, doing stand-up comedy, writes articles on football, comes on podcasts. I mean, she's a force of nature. I love her dearly. She's absolutely brilliant. Look, gotta call it a night, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Give a thumbs up on the stream. Any comments or anything if you're watching this back, if you think we've missed out or not, and please do put them in the comments below. I'll try and get through as many of them as I can. If I don't reply, it's because I either think you're an asshole or no, I'm only joking. If I don't reply, it's because it's just really, really busy. But I do try and read as many of them as I can. Have a wonderful weekend, ladies and gents. I will catch you all tomorrow at 9:30 for the late night agenda. Enjoy your Saturdays. Take care of your families. Tell your loved ones that you love them. And up the motherfucking 6 times European Cup winning Reds.